This is Chris Ruddy, and I love Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truth Cast. Make sure you're tuning in just like I do every day, every week, every minute.
I'm Gene Valentino, and I approve this message.
Trump won, but we know the real fight starts now. Congress needs a champion to move the MAGA agenda forward.
I'm Gene Valentino. Like Donald Trump and Elon Musk, I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman and innovator. When I'm elected, I'll put you, the American people, first. We'll abolish federal income taxes. We'll slash the budget and eliminate whole government departments. We'll send every illegal immigrant packing. My message to DC is simple: lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Doobie on a rainy Friday morning, 16 after the hour. We look forward all week to joining Michael and Gene Valentino. So, Mr. Valentino, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Tibbet. How are you this morning? 55 degrees here in Pensacola. I got a feeling that cold temperature your way is coming my way.
Yeah, it's not as bad actually this morning as it has been over the last, I don't know, maybe 5-6 days. It's been really cold at night, down in the 20s. And if you look at most of Mississippi right now, is either raining, sleeting, or snowing.
Well, 98% of the weather comes from the north and the west, unless it's a hurricane coming into us from the Gulf, from the south.
Yeah.
But 85% of the time, we're seeing weather patterns from. So when Mississippi and Michael Pol are talking to Valentino over here in the Panhandle, I know what kind of weather I've got coming my way.
That's right. It's only hours away. When it hits us, it's just maybe 6 hours away.
Well, but I'm resilient because I've been named by your loyal followers the Velvet Hammer. So I'm prepared because you guys over there have put me through boot camp, and I feel prepared, whether it's working here in the office or in Washington, D.C. Oh, by the way, for those folks who cannot see behind Michael Pol right now, he's got a beautiful shot of the Capitol of the United States. A beautiful view of Capitol Hill and Congress that is part of his backdrop. Someplace I hope to be working very soon. We'll know, Michael, about this primary over here in the Panhandle of Florida. We will. Oh, it's January 28th. So January 28th is the primary day. Early voting starts in a day or two or three. Mailed-in ballots is already underway. And I look forward to being your next congressman here in the Gulf Coast. I've had a great relationship, folks, with Michael Pol and WMXI, WFOR. And I got to tell you, the relationship has been a springboard in what I now consider a great opportunity to serve you in the United States Congress. Yes, I'm here in District 1 over in the Panhandle, but I've had a great conversation with Congressman Michael Guest. I look forward to one in the near future with Mr. Mike Ezell. And hey, Michael, what is it with you Mikes over there? You got Mike, Mike, and Mike.
Our parents weren't very creative with names.
Or someone was talking to someone just to keep us all confused. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. But look, I'll tell you, these guys over here, they're the real deal. Michael Guest, Mike Ezell, two of my good friends. Mike Ezell, of course, I've known all my life. But, even before I was born, our parents were friends, and my dad and his dad worked together. So it's a long-term relationship. And much like you and I have had a very long relationship, even though we've only been doing this for 4 years. We knew each other for much longer than that.
That's true.
And I always knew you were congressional material, my friend. I'm glad to see you making the run, and I'm wishing you the very best. So anything you want to up on the campaign?
Well, I tell you, it is a surprise. We're enjoying the podcasts and the weekly show with you, and it's really a calling. I didn't need this job. I want the job. And I'm looking forward to going into it for the right reasons. And I think we all should be mindful of that in our life and with our children, that we bring forward to them a direction, a future, a vision of what America's all about. And frankly, it's a calling. I want to get back into this line of work to make sure that we, frankly, on one level, we're going to protect Donald Trump's initiative, something you and I have really harped on through several episodes over the last 4 years, is protecting the back of Donald Trump and the MAGA agenda during not the great times, the sunny, fair weather day times. I'm talking about the difficult times, the times when leadership is necessary and is required to step up to defend this nation. And by doing so, we're defending the regions of the nation and our villages. As Tip O'Neill, a Democrat, said eloquently to his friend Ronald Reagan, Ron, all politics is local. and it is. So while you push on some national fronts with national policies and platform, like Mike Ezell, like Michael Guest, like 400 others in Congress, you're also representing the character, the fabric of those that live around you, work around you. And it's important that this constitutional republic be protected. You know, Michael, we almost lost it. I reflect back on this last 4 years under the Biden administration, how close we were to the complete loss of our nation through this woke DEI mentality of the Democrat liberal left that disregarded the neighborhoods and the common folk thinking. For example, Nancy Pelosi never worried about what a Democrat congressman thought about espousing issues from her district, that person's district. Instead, Nancy Pelosi would say to that congressman or woman, this is the way you're going to be voting on the bill today, with no rhyme or reason. There's no time or attention given to any of the local issues in the district under a Nancy Pelosi or a Chuck Schumer. You just tout the party line, and that's what your job is. And if you want to get reelected, you better do so, because we've got the money to help you get reelected. The Republican side says is a little bit more deliberative. There's room in the organization of republicanism to allow for differences of opinion, as our Constitution had hoped for, differences of ideas, innovation, thought, creativity. Why? So that we, like making sausage, it's not always pretty, but it certainly ensures for you and me that we're getting the best answer or the best solution for the citizens we represent. And that's why I'm going to Washington. For example, Michael, right now, the California fires going out through the boroughs and counties of greater Los Angeles. Where's the leadership? They're more worried about DEI, transgender fire chiefs, and balance of equity issues as opposed to who's most capable. They didn't even protect the water supply system over there to ensure that the reservoirs were loaded to be able to supply the water systems to the fire hydrants in the different counties in greater Los Angeles. The mayor, Bass, was somewhere in Ghana on some cultural excursion in her last few days.
He went to see the new president be sworn in of Ghana. How important is that? Somebody you've never met.
Wonderful point. And here at home during a crisis, she's absent. No, when you and I were in office, folks, Michael Pol won't say much about it, but he was a great leader when he was in political office in Mississippi. I was at the same time working as a county commissioner here in Escambia County, Florida, and we locked arms and collaborated and swapped resources necessary to protect our citizens during the hurricanes and windstorms and floods that were occurring coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, excuse me, the Gulf of America.
You're very kind. You're very kind, though, to say those nice things. I appreciate that, Gene. But it's about getting the job done for the folks. It's not about me and you.
That's right.
It's about for a reason.
That's right, Michael. It's about getting the job done. And so when you're looking for leadership, looking for the right solution for how you get a job done, you're looking for good leadership. And you don't test the leadership on a sunny day and how sweet and kind they are to you at the barbecue when they're shaking hands. You test the leadership when it hits the fan. It's dark and gray. There's a crisis with people screaming around you in need of care. That's how you test the leadership. And we have seen a complete meltdown, a complete failure of the Democrat Party and their leadership components because they were distracted with DEI and a woke agenda that did not address the needs of the citizens, and California is paying for it now. Now, one nation under God is the mantra we live by. Regrettably, we're going to be as concerned about this fire issue in California as we are about flooding and hurricanes in Mississippi and Florida and any other peril against us nationwide in the other states, because we're one nation. So we have to think globally, not so locally at times. Yes, all politics is local, but all operations can be streamlined sometimes on a national level, and one of them is insurance. If we consolidate some of our methodologies in the way we handle insurance, not state by state, but nationally, we will be able to streamline the service and streamline the cost. And that's what's going on right now with the insurance crisis we have. It's in varying degrees throughout the nation, Michael, based on what state you're in, because back in the 1950s and 60s, the federal act called the McCarran-Ferguson Act pushed insurance regulation to the states. It was probably at the time a convenience to take the heavy lifting off of Congress. However, they carved out an exception, and that was the flood policy. The flood policy you and I pay for is a national policy. The premium is competitive, and if you have a claim, the policy premium doesn't triple or quadruple on you. It goes up maybe 3 to 5%, not likely to cancel on you. Your home and auto policy may cancel on you if it didn't go up 700, 800%. And that's what I'm trying to say. The insurance industry is mired with bureaucratic layers of oversight that have created its own problems. And frankly, because of this crazy McCarran-Ferguson Act, it evidences itself in different ways in the different states to different degrees. I propose as a solution, as a former instructor of the licensing course of insurance in my earlier days, I propose a solution to fix the McCarran-Ferguson Act or repeal it, to broaden the scope of the operation of insurance so that your pain and suffering of what you're paying for right now on insurance is not so dramatic. It's one of about 20 key issues I have on my campaign platform. Got to get into office first. I'm singing to the choir. I know you're on board with me, Michael, but I'm going to be working as soon as this broadcast is over. I hit the street running with my campaign manager, Jessica, and another 20 folks out of Washington, D.C., who are working with me on this campaign to win a Republican primary election in about 18 days, January 28th.
Well, thank you for joining us. I know you're busy, but leadership matters. And what you just said, the entire time you were talking, you were pointing toward leadership and making things happen for the people, right? That's what they didn't do in California. You know what? State Farm said, hey, we got to raise the rates because you're a big risk. And they said, nope, we're putting a cap on it. And guess what happened? Now these poor people out in California have no insurance.
And why should the price of your premium be based just on California? The price of the premium for
Right.
flood insurance is based on the larger pool of the nation. Of course, you're
That's
going to have a higher premium in California. Of course, you're going to have a higher premium in Florida. But we're one nation. Those calculations of a premium should be based on the pool of the nation. When you move from state to state, you know this coming out of DOT and the highway system, you have a asphalt and concrete road system. It doesn't vary from state to state. It's a uniform spec nationwide of a system.
Right.
We need to think in the same logic toward how we handle the specification of insurance. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for joining us, Gene. Good luck, and we'll talk to you again hopefully next week.
Best to you, brother.